What's up everybody, this is Master Ian Gamer. So now that I've played a good bit of Doomfist on the PTR, I've decided to pull together all the thoughts I've had from playing him personally, also from watching others play him on YouTube, and, just hearing other people's thoughts of other Overwatch players. So now I'm going to go into a sort of post-play review. So I'll start off by saying, when I first played him, and you'll notice this if you watched the gameplay video I just uploaded, he feels very weird when I first picked him up. Very abnormal. Perhaps the most difficult to initially pick up hero out of any of the heroes I've played in the game, which is all of them. So that was a bit disconcerting at first, but I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's something that, he's going to be a difficult hero to pick up. He's rated 3 stars difficulty-wise. So that'll be an interesting thing to see play out, as I play him more, as other people play him more, etc. The big thing, which I also talked about in my other video, is that he feels very much like a fighting game character, like someone out of Tekken or Street Fighter. And just the way he moves, all his melees and his combos. I said it reminded me of Sheik from Smash Bros. The more appropriate hero, I think, would be Captain Falcon from Smash Bros. And I think it's really interesting, because I guess this is the solution that Blizzard came up with when trying to add a melee-based hero to Overwatch. I was really unsure how they would pull it off, but I guess this is it. While I'm not a big Genji player, from playing Doomfist, he does feel a lot like playing Genji, which is interesting, but at the same time makes a lot of sense. Genji was originally supposed to be entirely melee-based, and, Blizzard couldn't do that because they couldn't get the melee to work for him. But it's interesting because I can feel how Doomfist is what Genji was supposed to be. And they couldn't do it with Genji, so they held off on it, and now they're putting all that kind of into Doomfist. Not to saying that, they're the same character, but the whole melee way in which he works. It's quite fascinating, and I'm sure a lot of you have picked up on that too if you've played him a good bit at this point. Moving on to his actual abilities and how he plays, he's very dependent on his abilities, which seems kind of like a bad thing. This makes me foresee that he's probably going to be pretty susceptible to Sombra, because in a couple instances when I was playing him and I got hacked, you can't do anything. All he has is his little finger shotguns, which do almost nothing. So without his abilities, he's pretty much just a sitting duck, which, that'll be interesting because maybe Sombra will be played more now as a sort of counter to Doomfist. Additionally, his damage is very inconsistent. It's pretty much all focused on just his right click, which is just, the big forward charge punch. That does all his damage. Otherwise, he has the finger shotguns, which are negligible, pretty much. They're pretty much only there to just finish off somebody after you punch and don't successfully kill them. And then all his other abilities feel like they're more of setups for combos that'll end in the right click punch. And so because of this, since he's dependent on these abilities that have cooldowns, it's going to be hard for him to pump out consistent damage like Soldier would, or even like McCree. So that'll be an interesting aspect to see. I think it'll work very well with the dive comp, but outside of dive, I see him having a hard time fitting in anywhere. It seems like he's going to be particularly weak against tanks and even Bastion. I've been having a lot of trouble against Bastion in playing what I have played so far. Just because he goes in with his abilities, he'll kick them up or he'll do whatever, go in for the huge punch, but then it doesn't kill them because they have so much health. And so then after he's used up his abilities, he's a sitting duck until their cooldowns are over. He does, again, the finger shotguns, but you're not gonna finish off a Reinhardt with that, most likely. So that'll be another interesting thing to keep an eye on. See how he works compared to tanks, because if anything, initially, before he came out, I would have suspected him as being a tank buster. Kind of like Reaper, but just like a melee base, who just so much damage with his fist. But, the fist seems great for picking off 200 health heroes. You can pretty much one-shot any of them. But as for tanks, that'll be an interesting thing to see how that plays out. Another thing I've noticed is he seems to have a fairly big hitbox. He's kind of a tall person, not quite as buff as I expected. So having that larger hitbox for an offense character, that'll be interesting, because it seems like he'll probably be taking more damage than certainly someone like Genji would be. Additionally, Doomfist doesn't quite have the mobility of Genji. Sure, he can jump up and he can launch forward, but all the abilities are so dependent on, well, being abilities where they have cooldowns. So it's going to be hard for him to get out of tricky situations, especially with the bigger hitbox. Overall, it feels like he has an incredibly high skill cap, probably one of the highest, if not the highest, in the game, just from what I've experienced so far. I really can't wait to see, just how he plays out, because again, this is the first day. He's only been out for a few hours. This is all just sort of my initial thoughts and feelings, and also, a bit of the other thoughts from other people I've been watching videos of. Now, as a last note that I will mention, he doesn't have any cosmetics yet on the PTR, which, is unfortunate, but hey, I guess that means, little surprise for later on. We get to see what his legendary skins look like. That's what I'm excited for. Also, his highlight intros, emotes. Oh man, still got a little present left, even after the big reveal itself. So anyway, if you can, guys, head to the PTR and play Doomfist. Sorry for all you console players. You're just gonna have to wait. I know it sucks. But hey, in the meantime, I'm probably gonna be making a few more Doomfist videos just because there's so much to talk about, because he's so interesting in regards to his playstyle, the lore he's associated with. There's a whole bunch to talk about there. Also, just, Blizzard's process of releasing him. It's very interesting. So, be sure to stick around to my channel. Stay tuned. I'll be talking a lot more about this in the next couple days. But in the meantime, be sure to comment below with your thoughts about playing him, if you have played him, or even if you haven't, just from if you've watched gameplay or what you think about him. Just any comments you have, leave them down below. Also, be sure to vote in the poll card up on the top right. Anyway, this is Master Ian Gamer signing off. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, also subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and be sure to hit that bell icon to keep up with all my other videos. Until next time, play him if you can, cause he's pretty freaking cool, and have a great day.